Hello and welcome back to this session on Python. In this session, we are going to discuss about loops and iterations in Python. So we'll start off with understanding what are loops. Then we'll look into while loops. Then we'll see something called as control statements in loops. That is break statement and continue statement and all. Then we'll look into for loops. Then we'll end up with nested loops. So now to look into what are loops. Okay, so to understand this, we'll take this example. Suppose Lisa wants to print her name 10 times. Okay, so to do that, what she has to do in Python, she has to write print Lisa multiple times. So instead of doing this, she can do it by using loop. Okay, so this print statement, what she is doing is she is writing it multiple times. So it's an iterative process. So using loop, we can automate this iterative task. So we can automate any kind of repetitive task using loops. So loop is an instruction that repeats multiple times until a condition is met. So we can write some condition and we can create a loop based on that condition. Until the condition is satisfied, the loop will keep on iterating. So we'll look into something called as while loop. So while loop in Python is used to iterate over a block of code as long as the condition is true. So here this is the syntax for while loop. So here we are saying while condition. So we'll give some condition to Python. So while that condition is true, it will print us the statement. Until the condition is true, it will keep on printing the statement. Generally, we use while loop when we don't know the number of times to iterate beforehand. So suppose we don't know how many time our condition has to iterate, okay, or our program has to iterate. So we can use this while loop. This is the flowchart of while loop. So here suppose we have written a condition, that is while condition. So if the condition is true, it will move inside the loop, and whatever block of statement is there inside the loop, it will print us that. So again it will go back to the loop, again it will check for the condition, and again it will see if that block of statement is correct or not. So until the condition is correct or true, it will keep on printing us the block of statement. If the condition is false, it will go out of the loop and will end the while loop. So we'll just check the implementation of this in Python by using Jupyter Notebook. So I'll just go to Jupyter Notebook and open up a new Python notebook. We'll name it as Python loops. So first we'll see while loop. So to write a while loop, we can start with while keyword. So you can start with while keyword, then you can give the condition. So here first I will define my variable saying I equals 10. Then here I am saying while I is less than 10. Okay, I will define it as 5. So while I is less than 10, then print me I. So what I am doing here, first I am defining I equals 5. So while I is less than 10, so we know 5 is less than 10. So this condition is true. So it will print me 5 here. So I value is 5. So it will print me 5. Next what I will do, I will just increment this I by 1. Okay, here I am just incrementing the I value by 1. So here I am saying I equals I plus 1. So current value of I is 5. So 5 plus 1 is 6. So next time it goes back to the loop, so it will check the condition, that is 6 less than 10. That is also true. So it will print me 6. Again 6 equals 6 plus 1. That will be I equals 6 plus 1. That will be 7. So again it will go back to the condition and check 7 less than 10. It is true, so it will print me 7. So until the condition is satisfied, till that it will print. So it will print me till 9. Okay, so here once I run this, you can see first time 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, then 9. So 9 is less than 10. After that 9 plus 1, that is 10. 10 is not less than 10. So that's why like it will stop. This is how while loop works. So we can automate any kind of repetitive task by putting this kind of condition. Now suppose I want to add 5 to each of the number starting from 1 to 5. I want to add 5 to each of the numbers starting from 1 to 5. Then how do I automate that task? So like to do that in the usual way, what I have to do is I have to write print 1 plus 5, print 2 plus 5, print 3 plus 5, like that I have to do. Instead of that, I can write a loop which can automate that task. That is, I'll write I equals 1 while I is less than equals 5. So I have to continue till 5. So I'll say I is less than equals 5, print I plus 5, then I equals I plus 1. So what will happen here? So 1 plus 5, I'm getting 6, then 2 plus 5, then 3 plus 5, then 4 plus 5, then 5 plus 5. Okay, like this. So here I have automated this task of adding 5 to each of the values starting from 1 to 10. So this is how we write a while loop. So now we'll see something called as control statement. So these control statements, there are various types of control statements, like break is there, then continue is there. So this break control statement is used to break the particular loop. So when you use break, it will break the loop at that specific time. Okay, irrespective of the condition. If the condition is true, then also it will break it at that particular time. So we'll just check this break operation by writing a program. So here I'll just take the same program here. Okay, and I'll increase the loop here. So I'll just copy this. Here I am saying instead of 5, I will say 10. So here I am looping till 10. So you can see it is like till 1 plus 5 to 10 plus 5, like that. So here suppose I want to stop it at 5. I don't want to continue after that. So we can use break. So here I can write a condition saying if I equals 5, then break. So what will happen? So it will break at 5. So it will not go ahead. So you can see here it is giving me the same value as earlier. So here I is less than 10 we have said, but here we have given a condition saying if I is equal to 5, then break the loop. So it is breaking the loop and it is not going ahead. So we are not getting for I being 6, 7, 8, 9, like that we are not getting. We are getting only till I is 5. So this is how we can use break to break a particular loop. Next is continue. So with the continue statement, we can stop the current iteration and continue with the next. Okay, so here we will check the continue statement. So I'll just write continue statement. So previous one what we did was break statement. So I'll write it here, break statement. And now we'll check the continue statement. So in this I'll take the same code. I'll just copy paste the code. And here I'll do a little bit of modification. Okay, so here what I am doing is here I am saying I equals 1 while I is less than equal to 10. While I is less than equal to 10, then I equals I plus 1. So first time I is 1, so 1 is less than equal to 10. So here I am saying I equals to I plus 1. So what will happen here is it will increment 1 by 1. So it will print me 2. So I is not equal to 5, so it will not go here in continue, it will print me 2. So next time what will happen again, like it has been incremented here. So again it goes back 2 is less than equal to 10. So it's correct. So again it is incrementing it by 3, and here 3 is not equal to 5. So here it will print me 3. So like that it will do. But here when I is equal to 5, you can see here it's not printing me 5 because we have told that continue. Okay, so in this thing what will happen, it will skip this print and it will directly go to the loop. Okay, so it will not go to the below statement whatever is there. It will skip the loop at I equals 5. Okay, so this is how like it will keep on running. So this is your continue. Okay, so now here continue, what it does with the continue statement, we can stop the current iteration and continue with the rest. So here suppose you want to stop at certain position, like suppose you want to stop at I equals 5, then you can click continue so that it will skip that particular iteration and it will move to the while loop again. So this is your continue statement. So we looked into break statement. So break statement, we can stop the loop even if the while condition is true. And in continue statement, we can stop the current iteration and continue with the next iteration. Then there is something called as else. So with the else statement, we can run a block of code when the condition is no longer true. So suppose you are doing some check and the check has been completed or it's not matching at certain point, then you can use this else. So we'll just try this out. So I'll just copy this code, the same code we'll try. Okay, I just have to format this. So here we are saying I equals 1 while I is less than 10, then print I, then I plus equals 1. So it will just increment I by 1. So after that, what is happening, it is like it will keep on doing that, okay, till the condition is satisfied. So once that is completed, then it will go to the else block, then it will say I is no longer less than 10. So here you can see it prints us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But till 9 it will the condition will be true. After that it goes to the else block and it prints us the else statement. So this will just be this will be executed just one time, single time at the end. Okay, so this is how we can also use something called as else statement. So now these are the various statements we saw, that is break, continue and else. Now next we'll start off with something called as for loop. A for loop is used for iterating over a sequence, that is either a list, a tuple, a dictionary, a set or a string. So we can iterate over any sequence of value, be it a string or tuple or dictionary, we can use for loop. So we'll look into few examples in for loop. So I'll just go to the Python notebook and here we'll just write it as for loop. So I'll write my first for loop here. So that is, I'll write basic for loop saying for I in 2, 4, 6. Now this is a sequence of values. So this is how we write a for loop. We start it with for keyword. Then I is nothing but the iterative variable here. Then this is my sequence. So for I in sequence, then colon, then we can write here print I. So what will happen here? So first time from the sequence, this I will pick 2. Okay, so first value is 2. So it will pick the first value and it will print us the first value. After that, it will again go back to the loop. It will check for the second value. Second value is 4. So it will print us 4. Again, it will go back to the loop and check for the third value. It is 6. So it will print us 6. So you can see here, it is printing 2, 4 and 6. So this is how we can write a for loop. Suppose I want to add 5 to each of the number from 1 to 5, the similar one which we did earlier with while loop. So here I have suppose values as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and I want to add 5 to each of those number. So we can write it something like this. For I in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is my sequence, print I plus 5. So what will happen here? So first time I is 1, so 1 plus 5 is 6, then 2, 2 plus 5 is 7, then I is 3, 3 plus 5 is 8. So like that it will print me till the sequence is completed. This is how for loop looks like. So in for loop, this is the flow chart. So it will start off with the loop. Is it the last item in the sequence? So till the last item is met, till the last item is there within the sequence, it will keep on iterating. So once the last item, it has reached till the last sequence value, it will stop. Also in for loop, we can use, like here we are using a list of values, like we are passing a list. We can also pass a tuple. Okay, so if I take the same thing and here instead of list, I will just pass a tuple. Okay, I'll just write it down saying for I in I'll just pass a tuple. So saying A, comma B, comma C. I can also pass numbers, or I can also pass characters like this. So here I am saying for I in A, B, C, print me I. So what will happen here? It will print me first time I is A, then second time it will be B, then third time it will be C. Okay, so like this we can also use a tuple here. We can also use a string. Like I'll say for I in hello. So hello is a string. So as it is a string, I have to use quotes here. Then print of I. So what will happen here? Like first time I will be H, second time it will be E, third time it will be L. Like that it will print. Okay, so you can see here. Like from string also, string is also a multi-value data. So it will pick first time I as H, second time it is E, like that it will iterate. So this is how we can pass uh, string as well. In for loop, we can also use a function called as range function. There is a function called as range function. So we'll first understand this function. So this function can give us some values over a particular range. So I will say range of 0 to 10. So here 0 is inclusive, 10 is exclusive. So it will give me 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, until 9 it will give me the values within a list. So here to check this, what we can do is I'll just print this, and the value I want it in a list format. So I'll just write list of this range. Okay, so you can see here it gives me 0, then 1, then 2, then 3. So starts from 0 and it will continue till 9. It will give us value till 9. So last one is exclusive, first one is inclusive here. So this is how it gives us 10 values. It gives us 10 values here. That is 10 number of values starting from 0. Okay, so this is how also we can create a sequence. So here I can write for I in, suppose I want to print number from 1 to 10. So I can write for I in range of 1 till 11. So it will give me values till 1 to 10. So here I will say print of I. So you can see here first I is 1, then 2, then 3, like that. Suppose I want to add 5 to each of the number, then you can see here it has added 5 to each of the number. Okay, so this is how we can also use this function called as range here. So this is how like we can write a for loop. There are some other things also we can do within this for loop. So now if you see here, it is printing me values like one after the other. So these are all individual values, like individual element I am getting as output. Suppose I want to put everything within a list again. I want to put within a list saying 6, 7, 8, like that. I want a list of values. So what we can do, so we can use a function here called as append. So we can write it something like this. Suppose I'll say a equals to a blank list. Then for I, so I'll just copy this code, and here I'll say a dot append. So what will happen here, like first time a is a blank list, then here we are saying for I in range of 1 to 11, so it will be a list of values. So this will be nothing but a list of values. That will be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, so this will be like this. So now here what it will do is first time I is 1, so 1 plus 5 is 6, so it is appending to this list. So this list is a is the blank list, so it is appending to the list. So it will put within the list 6. Then second time it goes back, the second value is 2, so 2 plus 5 is 7, so it will append it to the list. So you can see here, like once we do that and again I print a, so within a we have all these values. That is first is 6, then 7, then 8. Okay, so everything is there within this a variable. So this is how we can also append a value to a variable. So I can access any value, like suppose I want to access this particular value, that is 10. Okay, so I'll say a of 4. So index always starts with 0. So here I'll say a of 4, so it gives me 10. Okay, so this is how we can also access values. Okay, so this is how we can write a for loop and we can append the values to a blank list. You can also do it with a tuple and other things. Now suppose here I want to extract the key with the value. So now it says first value is 6. So what is the key of this? To access this 10, the key for this is 4. I want to also see the key with the value. Then how do we get that? Okay, so that is I want key as well as value. So here in for loop we can write something like this: for key and value, k and v. So you can give any variable name in enumerate. So there is a function called as enumerate. So using this you can extract key as well as value. So I'll say range of 1 comma 11, same thing, and here I'll say print of, I'll say k comma, I'll just add some hyphen here, then v. Okay, I'll say v plus 5. So you can see here first one is like it is doing this operation, this is v plus 5, that is adding 5 to each of the value. So first one's index is 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, like that. So we are also getting index associated with the values. So this is how we can also extract key as well as value from a iteration. Okay, so we looked into various for loop. Also there is a very nice this one, that is syntax, which you can use to write a loop. So suppose here I am writing the loop in 2 lines or 3 lines or 4 lines. You can also create a single line loop. You can write a single line for loop. Okay, so now how to write a single line for loop, that's also we'll see. So here single line for loop. So now to write a single line for loop, we can write it something like this: for I in range 1 to 11. So here I am saying for I in range of 1 to 11. So it will start from this side, that is right to left. So for I in range of 1 to 11, print me I. So it will give me all the values within a list. So earlier what we did, the same thing what we did here, that is we were appending all the values within a list. We can directly do it like this. Okay, I will say here I plus 5. So this is my this is what I want. So you can see here what it is done. The same thing what we did earlier, like this 3 lines of code, that is we created a blank list, then we wrote a for loop, then we appended all the values to that blank list. Here the same thing I have done, just in a single line. So I have written here for I in range of 1 to 11. So first time I will be 1, second time it will be 2. So here we are doing the operation saying I plus 5, and all this we are putting within a list. So it is enclosed by this brackets, that is square brackets. So it is putting everything in a list. So this is how we can write a single line for loop. Okay, so I'll write some more within this single line for loop. Suppose here I want to add some condition. Okay, within this loop, suppose I want to add some condition saying print me the value if I is greater than 5, then only you print me the value. Okay, suppose I want to print numbers from 1 to 10, but I just want to print the value which is greater than 5. So I can write a condition here. Okay, so I'll say here single line loop with condition. So it always starts from here: for I in range of 1 to 11. Here I will add a condition saying if I greater than 5, then only print me this I value. So here we are saying for I in range of 1 to 11, if I is greater than 5, then only print me I. So for 1 to 5 it will not print me anything. So it will print starting from 6. So you can see here 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so here we are getting starting from 6. So here this is how condition works. So for I in range of 1 to 11, so first time I is 1. So if I is greater than 5, so first time I is 1, so 1 is not greater than 5, so it will not print me that. So print we are writing in the left hand side, so it will not print me that. So for till 5 it will check, after that 6 is greater than 5, it is true, so it is printing me 6. So like that it is printing till the range is completed, till the sequence is completed. So this is how we can write a single line loop with some condition. So now this is all about for loop. We looked into various, so you can also do the same things with while loop as well. Next is nested loop. So in Python we can use nested loop, that is one loop inside another. So we can create we can also write loop within loops, that is called as nested loop. You can do this with while loop as well as with for loop. So here you can see there is for I in sequence, so we have this syntax for I in sequence, for j in sequence. So for I in sequence is one for loop, inside that we have another for loop, that is for j in sequence, then statement we are printing. So first statement is with respect to the second loop, and third statement, last statement is with respect to the first loop. So this is a nested loop. So we'll just try this out. We'll just try this nested loop. So here I'll just go to Python. Here I'll just write nested loops. So here suppose I have some numeric values, saying numeric list values, and I'll say here some numbers like 1, 2, 3, and I have some character values like alpha values, so I'll say alpha list values, which is nothing but A, B and C. So I'll say A, B and C. So now here I'll say for I in numeric list. So this is my first loop. So it will iterate over the numeric values. Print I. So first time I will be 1. Okay, so it will print me 1 here. After that again I am writing here for j in alpha list, that is alpha values, character values, print of j. So what will happen here? So it will print me first time numeric value, that is 1. Then for j in alpha list, that is A. So 1, then it will print me A. Then again it goes back, the next one is 2. So it will print me 2. Then the next one is B. So like that it will print. So you can see here 1, A, B, C. Like that it does. But it is doing for 1 ABC, then 2 ABC, then 3 ABC. So ABC it is printing for all, like all ABC values are getting printed. So like what it is doing, so for I in numeric list print I, so it is printing me 1. Then here it is checking for j in alpha list. So here within this alpha list it will first iterate this complete list. So what it is doing here, so for j in alpha list, that is A, B, C. So first time it is A, then second time it is again going back here, that is B, then third time it is C again. Again it goes back to the main loop. So once this internal loop is completely the sequence is completed, then only it will move to the previous one. Okay, otherwise it will keep on looping within the inner loops. So inner loops get executed first, then it goes to the outer loop. So this is called as nesting of loop, okay, or nested loops. So this is all about loops. uh, so we looked into for loop, we looked into while loop, we also looked into control statement, also we saw nested loops. Okay, so this is all for this session. So thank you for joining. Bye.